It's never too early for a mock draft. Matt Miller's projections just posted this morning on ESPN.com. He starts the draft with a big trade as the Giants trade for the Patriots' first pick and take Georgia QB Carson Beck, who threw for 24 touchdowns last year, his first as a starter. Another trade up with the second pick as the Raiders acquire Carolina's pick to trade Colorado QB Shedeur Sanders. Sanders threw for 27 touchdowns and just 3 picks last year. And the third of 5 first-round QBs comes off the board at 10 as the Saints take Quinn Ewers from Texas. Ewers, just 21 years old, threw for nearly 3,500 yards last season. The other first-round QBs are Connor Wigman, 19th to the Rams, and Riley Leonard, 20th to the Jets. Joining Sanders in the top 10 is his Colorado teammate, receiver/cornerback Travis Hunter, 9th to the Cardinals. Also 2 players from Michigan and Texas going in the top 10. Matt Miller joins us for more. And Matt, you told me before we got here on air that your mentions are in shambles with the Giants moving up to take that #1 pick. But what gives Carson Beck the edge over Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, Giants fans, you should actually be excited about this one. Carson Beck's best quality is that big right arm that allows him to make throws to every level of the field. He's a super fast processor in the pocket. No, he's not going to be the most mobile quarterback. That's not part of his game, but his ability to see the entire field, to execute high-level throws, and it's the potential. Remember, last year, his first year as a starter, replacing Stetson Bennett IV, the Georgia offense was actually better in 2023 than it was in previous years, despite the fact that they didn't get back to that national championship title. So I think Beck is that player who is the top quarterback in this class because of how well he protects himself in the pocket and what he does with that big right arm. Whereas Shedeur Sanders, very surgical as a passer, but he gets rocked in the pocket at times, can get a little bit beat up. That's going to be a big question for a quarterback who's 6'2", 215 pounds.
You know, hopefully that breakdown gives some confidence to Giants fans who are looking at that mock draft. Those 2 prospects are 2 that people are very familiar with. However, what about 3 players that people might not know that they will get to know this upcoming college football season?
Yeah, let's stay right at the quarterback position. And Connor Wigman coming back last year, played 4 games, missed the rest of the season because of a foot injury, but those 4 games were fantastic. I would argue as good as any quarterback we saw last year. 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's athletic. He has a big arm. And A&M is loaded. We have a new coaching staff coming in here. Should open things up for Wigman. If he can stay healthy and build on what we saw last year, again, in those first 4 games, he could be special. Now, here's a player who's moving positions. Abdul Carter, we're going to see him wear number 11 for Penn State. We know how important that number is to the Nittany Lions. Moving from linebacker to a full-time role as an edge rusher, I expect him to explode onto the NFL draft scene this year. He's a player we've been tracking for about 3 seasons as a draft prospect, so he's a very good one. And then Deion Walker, the big defensive tackle for Kentucky, is going to remind you a ton of guys like Dexter Lawrence because of how well he controls the middle of the defensive line, but then he does have that agility at 350 pounds nearly to still get into the backfield and make plays in a lot of ways, similar to what T'Vondre Sweat was last year for Texas, but with better conditioning and arguably better athleticism all around.
Yeah, some hidden gems coming up for this college football season. For Matt's full draft, check out ESPN.com and the ESPN app. Matt, thanks so much.
Give me something. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe.